Hey guys, here's the scenario. I'll be out and about doing my daily life, doing whatever business I have to take care of. Maybe I'm at the grocery store with my wife or whatever. And somebody will walk up to me and say, "Hey bro, I really like the beard." Or, "Hey man, do you put anything on that?" Or, "You have any tips about how I can grow a beard?" That kind of thing. And so in this video, I want to talk about some things about growing a beard. All right. So step number one, you really have to have the genetics for it. You really just, sorry to say, you got to have the genetics for it. You got to have the genetic makeup from your parents, from your ancestors. This has to do with race. This has to do with just genes, right? And if you don't have that, it's probably not going to work. Now, if you got something there, if you got something to work with there, then we can move on to step number two, okay? And step number two is stop shaving. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye. Just kidding, guys. I wasn't kidding about those first two steps. Like, those steps are pretty important, but let's talk about a little bit more than that. So, first of all, let's talk about just the idea of growing a beard. It's become more popular recently, but it's the kind of thing that for many years, for many decades in our country, was kind of normal was to be clean shaven. And if you look at movies from the 50s and 60s and 40s, pretty much everyone's clean shaven. There's a few guys in there with beards, and usually they're maybe a little bit oddballs or something. Some professor or something. But it's kind of interesting. These things kind of come and go, I guess, as fads and different things. But where did we get the idea that we should be clean shaven? Because men typically grow hair on their face, but you wouldn't know it by looking at those old movies. Where in our society did that get started? I really don't know. I didn't do a bunch of research on that, but I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Like, to me, if you're looking at just how we naturally are, the more natural state would be to have a beard. Maybe not as long as mine, or maybe as long as mine. I don't know. But yeah, just something to think about. I think in our day and time right now, in my opinion, we're kind of missing some good masculine symbols and examples for us. And I think it's interesting that I do have a lot of guys come up to me. Like I said, when I'm out and about, it happens pretty much every day that someone will compliment me on my beard. And it's not something that I was looking for when I went to grow this beard. Honestly, it was a totally different thing than that for me. But it's interesting, and I think that's part of what it is that it's like they recognize the masculinity, and there's something in all of us men that kind of goes, yeah, that's good, when we see that, and that's just a part of being a man, and that's okay, and that's being masculine, and that's cool. And women may not understand that. That's okay, because they're women, and women have their things, and men have their things. And so my sort of philosophy with growing this beard right here, it was a matter of just seeing what would happen and not even caring what I thought about it, not caring what anybody else thought about it, and even not caring what I myself thought about it, and just commit to growing it for a while and see what it looked like and see what happened. So yeah, so it's been an interesting experience because I've had a lot of positive feedback all the way through. And honestly, I didn't expect that. I expected a lot of people to not like it. And I'm sure there are people that don't like it, but they don't tell me. They don't say that. but I have a lot of people that really like it. And it's mostly men that tell me that, but actually a lot of females also tell me that. A lot of women tell me that as well. So it's been very interesting. Maybe there's something there again about the masculinity that even women see that sign of masculinity and they like that. They're attracted to that. I think that's natural and normal. I think that's cool. It's been fun. And it's been fun to get those compliments and everything. Like I said, I wasn't looking for that, and I kind of don't try to let that go to my head or anything, because honestly, like, I didn't make this, you know? To be very honest, God made this. And this is how he designed my body and my beard to be. I've tried to keep my beard pretty much as natural as I can, for it to still be functional and pretty low maintenance and hopefully looking nice. You know, some people may think so, some people may not. That's fine, but I've tried to keep it just the way God made it, you know, and just as natural as I can keep it. So let's get to some actual steps of growing a beard if you're interested in doing that, okay? So step one, I would say, if you really want to grow a beard, just do it. You know, commit to a specific amount of time to letting it grow. And I would suggest maybe like a month to just like really kind of just let it be. You may want to trim the mustache so you're not eating it every day, you know. But you know, commit to letting it grow. This way, if you let it grow for like a month, you can see where it grows, where it doesn't grow. You know, we all have little thinner spots or patches where it doesn't grow. That's normal, you know. Maybe you got a injury when you're a kid and there's a scar right there and now the hair doesn't really grow right there or grows weird directions or whatever. Like, just let it be, you know. The two sides of our face are not perfectly symmetrical. Mine are definitely not. So yeah, let it grow and just see how your own unique beard, the way God made it, grows out of your face. All right, step number two, I would say is use a little bit of oil on the thing, okay? Wash it. I wash mine every day, okay? That's just kind of how everybody's oil in their skin, natural oils and all that kind of stuff is different. So you kind of have to work out what works for you. But for me, once a day, and then when I get out of the shower, I use right now olive oil, and I use like about a nickel-sized puddle in my hand, that I just rub throughout my whole beard, right? You can use a lot. There's a lot of different kinds of oils out there. There's beard oils. I would stay away from beard oils that contain a whole bunch of stuff that you can't pronounce. Stick to just regular kind of like oils, you know, regular like olive oil, coconut oil, jojoba oil, even castor oil. I've used all of these on my beard in the past. They all work to some degree. Castor oil is pretty thick and sticky and feels wrong when you're first putting it in, but you would be amazed how soft it keeps it. For me, I try to keep it off of my skin because it's too goopy and it can kind of just clog up your pores and cause issues. And I mostly put the oil in my beard, not on my face. I put it in the beard. My face creates enough oil on its own. It's all good. But beards tend to be dry. They tend to be drier than the hair on your head. And so wash it and be careful about shampoos and soaps. They totally take all the moisture, all the oils out of your beard, out of your skin, out of everything. And then you have to like put it back, you know? And so since beards tend to be dry already, using lots of shampoos and stuff like that can just make them even more dry. And then you just have like, you know, and that's not what you want. You want it to have some moisture to it, you know. That's, I think, probably the biggest mistake that guys make, people make in growing a beard, is just leaving it the way it is, like totally dry, and then it just, after a while, it just breaks off and all of that. So be careful about that. So using an oil will make it softer, more manageable, less itchy. A lot of guys complain about it being itchy. Just more manageable in general. It kind of tames it a little bit. But I don't go overboard with trying to fix it up with a whole bunch of beard balms and all this kind of stuff. I don't do any of that. I spend like 10 minutes max on my beard. That's it. If any more than that, I wouldn't even deal with it. I'd probably shave it off or whatever. So just do that. Step number three is after you've let it grow a bit, check it out. See what you got. See where kind of the natural contours of your face and beard are. And then if you go to shape it or trim it, do that according to sort of the natural lines that you have. But don't get carried away. You start, trying to make this line, way down here or under here, way up here. It looks weird and it's hard to maintain. It's a lot of work to maintain that, because then every day you got to shave this spot right here up to that line, which is a pain. So I've left it. This is pretty much where my hair grows. It grows up to here. There's a few little hairs that like to grow out here. I cut that off. I shave that down. But that's like very low maintenance. I cut it here and here, and I trim the mustache, and I sort of like from right here up, I just kind of fade it to nothing right there. That's it. All the rest of it's like one length. It's like just all grown out, all the same. The mustache is trimmed, and that's about it. It's about it. Just try to keep it simple, natural. So don't go overboard with the sculpted, all that stuff. I mean, if you want to do that, that's great. Go for it. Do it. But, it looks, there's a million videos you can look up of these super sculpted lines and trimmed, like, faded and all this stuff. And that, it looks cool, but like 3 days later, it doesn't look like that, and you gotta fix it, and so I don't want to be trimming my beard every day. I trim my mustache and the parts I just said about once a week. Sometimes I'll let it go 2 weeks, and that's it, and then I shave my head because I don't grow too much hair up here anymore. But just a couple more things I want to say. Experiment with different lengths. Maybe you just want to have a short beard, maybe use clippers and just keep it short. Maybe you want to experiment with a little bit longer. Try it out. I didn't know that I had these waves in my beard until I let it grow, longer. Had no idea. My beard was pretty straight, it is pretty straight. And it just looked straight all the way, to this length or so. It just looked straight. But when it got a little longer, these waves came out. And then I just learned to kind of go with that, And I don't brush it. I just kind of comb it through with my fingers with the oil and all that. And leave it there, kind of like let the curls be the curls, let the waves be the waves, and just do it. I don't try to make it different than what it is. If you have a curly beard, let it be curly. If you have a straight beard, let it be straight. Let it be whatever it is. Because if you fight it and you try to make it something else, you can make it something else, and then you go out in the rain and it turns back into whatever it was in the beginning. So, what's the point? Just let it be. That's my advice for that. So I think one last thing that I would like to say is, grow your beard, let it be how it is naturally, and be confident about it. You may look at other people's beards and think, I wish my beard was more like that guy's, or something like that. But the truth is if you wear yours the way it naturally is and are confident about it, other people are going to look at you and wish their beard was like yours. So just don't get into that. Don't try to be like Mike, you know? Don't try to be like somebody else. Do you and do it the best that you can do you. And that's valuable. Like, that's good. Just believe that. It's all good. All right? I hope this was helpful to you. Go out and be a manly man. Be masculine. I'm not saying you're not masculine if you don't have a beard. Just do it. All right? All the best to you. God bless you. Take it easy. Bye.